Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back here on the show to recap my second of three A-Sun tournament games that I kept up with tonight. And number 4, Jacksonville beating number 5 seeded Eastern Kentucky 78-67. Kind of disappointing with Eastern Kentucky. They were up 41-30 in the first half. They were so good offensively in the first half. Like, they were nailing threes and locking up defensively. I don't know what happened in the second half. I mean, he outscored 48-26. They really couldn't stop McCray. He ended up with 26 points. He was 2 of 4 on threes. He was 7 of 13 from the field. They couldn't stop him from getting to the free throw line. He was 10 of 13, 10 rebounds. He had 5 assists. I mean, yeah, he had 6 turnovers, but he had a good all-around game. Had a double-double with 5 assists. I don't know how many offensive rebounds they gave up in the second half. I don't know how many. But offensively, Eastern Kentucky was great in the first half. They scored 41 points. They were 16 of 33 from the floor, 48.5%. 6 of 10 from 3, 60%. They were 60% from 3. And they didn't make one in the second half because I think Jacksonville made better adjustments than EKU did. Tutani! And the rebounding is not great rebounding effort. It just feels like they're frauds every year in March. Like, they have a good record in their conference, but they just struggle. They just struggle to even get out of the first round of the A-Sun tournament. And they gave up twice as many offensive rebounds as they had defensive rebounds in the second half. I don't know how many Jacksonville had, but they had. I don't know how many in the second half. And EKU just couldn't get a stop. The numbers could have been way worse. You could see they'd given up going for rebounds. You just can't quit like in a tournament like this. Basically fighting for your season. But EKU in the second half were just terrible on both ends. 26 points. They scored only 26 points. And in the second half, they were 7 of 25 from the floor. Yes, 7 of 25. Which is 28.0%. And they were 0 of 6 from 3, which is 0%. They were 12 of 14 from the line, but that was really the only offense they could get, it felt like. And they were able to stay within reach, but, I mean, you were up by 13. They were up 13 points in the first half, and they just blew it. And their last lead was 10 minutes to go. In the 10:57 in the second half, that was the last lead they had, and then they never got it back. They just went cold. Wall was going off. He was 4 of 5 from 3 in the first half. I don't know why they didn't try to get hit to him more, because everybody else really struggled for them shooting threes. I mean, Buttery was 1 for 2, and Andrews was 1 for 2. Blanton was 0 for 2. Crawford 0 for 3. Holt 0 for 2. So everybody really struggled outside of Wall, and Buttery and Andrews each making one. But that was the only thing they did good in the second half was making free throws. Other than that, they just couldn't do anything offensively. As for Jacksonville, they weren't bad in the first half offensively. But the thing is, they really didn't make threes in this game. It's just they kept attacking the paint because EKU couldn't stop it. Because in the first half, they were 2 of 6 from 3. Second half, 1 for 5. They really didn't take many, 3 of 11. But it's because they were attacking the basket and getting to the free throw line. What really hurt in the first half was weren't really able to make free throws. 6 of 11, 54%. Because offensively, I thought they were fine. 11 of 22, 45.8%. It's just they weren't making threes and weren't making their free throws. But in the second half, they went off offensively. 18 of 29, 62.1%. 3-point, 1 for 5. They only took 5 threes, 20%, but they made their free throws in the second half. 11 to 15, 73.3% for the game. They ended up shooting 54.7% for the game. So it was just a night and day difference in the first half. You can just tell Jacksonville adjusted, and AKU didn't have an answer for it. 41 points to 26 points, and Jacksonville goes from 30 to 48. McCray was fantastic. We talked about him. Payne the third had 10 points, 4 of 6 from the floor. Munson 9 points, 4 of 5. Bale 5 of 6, 10 points. Rivers 4 points, 2 of 3. Nwoki G 9 points, 4 for 6. Like, they had a bunch of different people contribute. For them, let's go individual statistics here. Butcher in this game, 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 7 points. Wall, 4 of 8 from the floor overall, 4 of 5 from 3, 14 points. Blanton, 11 of 27, had 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Myrick, 3 of 7, 10 points. Crawford, 4 points, 2 for 5. Holt, 2 points. Andrews, 3 points, made a 3-pointer. As for Jacksonville here, we went over Robert McCray. Was 26 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 of 4 from 3, 7 of 13 overall from the floor. Bale, he was 5 for 6 at 10 points. Rivers, 4 points. Payne, 10 points. Munson, 9 points. Spence kind of really did strong from the floor, but he had 8 points. And McCray's been not great this year, but they have good shooters, like good shooting percentages, like Rivers, Munson, Payne. Robert McCray's a solid player. He's not the most efficient, but he's a good all-around guy when he's not turning the basketball over. It's kind of disappointing with the effort from EKU. I think these two teams have played a few times, I think, this season, and they've kind of had low-scoring games. Like last one, Jacksonville played EKU February 24th, 59-55, they beat them. Didn't they play them again this year? I don't know if they did or not. I don't believe so, because I can't find it. But they lost to Jacksonville last year. Remember, they were the number 1 seed. I know they were 17-15, but they were the number 1 seed in their conference last year. Was the EKU? They lose to Jacksonville, who was the 10 seed. So it's 2 straight years they've lost to Jacksonville in the ASUN tournament. And this was a winnable game. I mean, they were up 13 in the first half, up 11 at halftime, and they just sucked. Felt like they kind of just quit when they went down. But yeah, this the second time they played Jacksonville this year, and they lost both times. But Jacksonville's moving on to the next round of the ASUN tournament with a great second half effort, 48-26 second half. So yeah, that's really all I got to say here. So till next time, I'm out. Peace.